Welcome back to Talk with the Boro Boys. This is episode 4, and just as I predicted last week, Ludwig Eberg won the Genesis Open. It was a European. Called it all along. Didn't get the pick right. None of us got our picks right. But boy, did it come down to the absolute wire. Putt from about 7 feet. Drilled it. Eberg gets his second win on tour. Connor, how we feeling? Original pick was Rory. Rory struggled on Saturday and Sunday. What are you thinking there? How do you feel about Ludwig winning? And how are we feeling about looking at the rest of the season for him?
Yeah, not mad about my pick going in. Thought Rory would have a big week, and it turned out that he was never able to get that flat stick rolling, and he never got hot on the greens. He struggled reading his putts all week, and at the end of the day, Aberg came to play really on that back nine in the fourth round. And Maverick McNeely really thought he was going to be able to win that after the way it was looking middle of that fourth round. And he didn't do anything. The announcer said he didn't do anything to lose it, which I think was right. But Aberg just got hot out of nowhere, really. He birdied 4 of his last 6 holes, ended up shooting a 32 on the back. And Maverick shot a 64 on the final round. So happy for Aberg, and not mad about my pick, Roy. At the end of the day, I think Aberg's going to have a big year, and he'll end up winning at least one major this year.
Yeah, Maverick, I want to say he was 5 under through 7. He was on a tear. He had 5 in a row on the front, and he looked like he was going to take it going down the stretch, but being 3-4 holes ahead of the last tee time, it's hard to win when you're done and they're still on 15. They're a couple shots behind you, so a little bit tough
and 18
there.
Was a par 5, so you almost factored in Aberg as they were tied, almost a guaranteed birdie. So but he made a big putt anyways.
You have to look at most of the scores on Thursday. Most of the scores on Thursday and Friday when it was raining, there's no low scores those days. I mean, Rory was in a good spot. So was Scotty. So was Hideki. So was just about anybody because it was so tight. Coming down the wire on Saturday and Sunday, Rory just couldn't putt. You don't win championships without putting. Rory couldn't putt.
I'm not mad at my picks for this week. Hideki went off to a slow start, which really hindered him, but he really got it firing towards the weekend. He had an amazing Sunday, and Tommy was just consistent all week. He was up there in the leaderboard, but Oberg is just different, man. I think the tour should be on notice because he's coming and he's coming quickly, and those wins are going to keep racking up for him. But with McNeely, man, that swing is smooth. He's in control of his swing. It looks beautiful, and he pummels the golf ball. So his name is going to be up there quite a bit throughout this season. For sure.
He's a younger guy too. I want to say he's 28, 29.
Yeah.
I know he's got a win on tour already, but I mean, it wasn't a big win, but I guarantee you he'll have a big win here soon if he keeps playing the way he played this weekend. There's no doubt about it. But going back,
Scotty was in contention. I mean, he was just a little bit too far back. I mean, he made a push there on Sunday, but he was just a little too far back to come back and win it.
I think his round on Saturday was the big problem, shooting 76 there.
Yeah.
That's probably his worst round in over a year. Just not something you expect from him. If he's shooting 76 one day, but his other 3 days are 66, 67, and 70, I don't really think he can complain much. Mm-hmm. It's just, being the world number one, just not what you expect at all.
All it takes is one bad day to fall right out of that.
Yeah,
contention stuff.
If you think about it, let's say he shoots even par on Saturday, he wins by a couple strokes. So,
and Oberg, man, if he eliminates some of his bogeys, man, he's winning by a lot.
He never seems to be rattled. He's smooth as it gets, too.
What I really love about it is when he's hitting the ball, he takes one look at it and he swings.
He's a quick golfer.
Really quick.
My favorite thing, like we're all saying, is he's quick. He gets up there, he gets his number, he looks, gets his feel, and he swings. You don't see that anymore. The first time we heard about that really was last year at the Masters. I feel like that's when people started to learn who he was and know the type of golfer he's going to be. Played in Ryder Cup, played in
finish, really.
in the majors.
Yeah.
He's good, but if he could eliminate, he had 2 bogeys on the front on Sunday. So I mean, he gets rid of those, he's winning by an extra 2 more strokes rather than it coming down to the wire on 18. But
Correct.
younger
And he
guy,
was
definitely going to be on the lookout for him.
4 birdies in the back nine, no bogeys. So he obviously didn't feel any pressure of the moment, and he just kept surging and surging. But
None at
props to
all.
Maverick will get him one this year.
Absolutely. I mean, also like Carson's pick, sort of second pick with Tommy Fleetwood. Tommy looked good the whole weekend. I mean, he was consistent the whole time. He didn't really have any ups and downs, but he's going to get a win too. His sawed off finish is just, it's pure.
I'd really like to see him get. I don't think he's won one.
I don't
I
think
don't
so
think he's
either.
won once.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
Once
coming though. Everyone knows it's coming.
which is
I know
mind blowing.
last year I think it was the Canadian Open when him and Nick Taylor were battling it
Yeah.
out.
I mean,
Nick
they were in
Taylor
a
Yeah,
weren't they in a playoff when he drilled that?
multiple playoff. I think. I
Yeah.
think it was 2 or 3 holes.
And he drilled like a 60-footer. That's
and
ridiculous.
what's his name got tackled on the green.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Adam,
yeah.
Yeah, Adam got tackled on the green.
that was probably the best part of that tournament.
Looking at my pick with Akshay, though, I mean, open round at 75 is kind of what put him behind the 8 ball. But he came back and fired a 67 on Friday and Sunday. So he was still in contention, but the 75 and 73 really put him behind. But those conditions out there are tough. We all know that.
So tough.
I mean,
So tough.
Especially in the first round.
We all saw the rain that was coming down, the conditions of the greens, conditions of the bunkers. They were changing constantly from it was going raining heavily, slightly raining, not raining at all, being windy. I mean, playing out there, it's got to be tough. Those conditions, you never know what's going to come at you out there, honestly. I mean, I don't know how I would play out there. I don't know how you guys would play out there. We probably wouldn't be shooting anywhere near as damn as good as these guys, that's for sure.
It's not fun to play in the rain in general, but then you mix in the wind and how deep that rough is, and it's not enjoyable.
I mean, we've all probably seen that video of Rory taking a divot out of rough on one of the
Yeah.
holes from the left, and a dude
Guy
caught
catching
literally a
it.
patch of lettuce. I mean,
I don't know how you can dig that ball out of that stuff. Like, I really don't know. I really
speed.
don't.
I mean, the only answer to it that I could see is the speed that he has to swing the golf club that quickly to get the club down there. But you don't see
How's
every
that?
player doing that.
How's that club face not get caught and just fly wide open?
Those
and flop
conditions that
clubs?
first day were horrible. It was
Yeah.
windy, and the course is the longest course on the tour already. So, like you said, factor in those conditions: rough, wind, rain, and
I mean,
distance.
I think maybe there was a couple 69s on Thursday, and that's what is that 1 or 2 out?
Yeah, there was
300.
not much scoring in the first couple days.
No. Well, I mean, on Friday and Sunday, it seems like the guys really took off because they were putting out lower numbers on Friday
Yeah, I
and
mean,
Sunday.
you
for
see
sure.
Akshay posted a 75 in the first round, finished tied for ninth. So,
I mean, he had 267s,
600.
so
yeah. But he made a good push in the last couple of rounds, and he's been pretty consistent this year. I think he's two top 30s, and then one right outside of it. So
yeah.
he'll be
I mean,
one to keep an eye on.
yeah, I expect him to get a win this year. I mean, I expect Justin Thomas to get a win as well. He's been playing pretty decent. Just problem is that putting. Putting's the only
Mhm.
problem. I mean, I'd love to see get a win. Scotty, we got no worries about. I mean, let's be real. Scotty's gonna win the Players and the Bay Hill for sure.
Good to see Denny up there too.
Yeah,
Denny, he can roll him with the best of them.
He can
Although he
roll,
couldn't,
but
he couldn't
I don't
putt
know if
great.
he'll get
So
over the edge.
the person we gotta look out for is gonna be Ludwig. There's no doubt in my mind he doesn't get a couple more wins this year, maybe a major. I mean,
I think
he's gonna
he'll
be
get a major this year.
he's gonna be around for a while.
How
He's young.
24 maybe.
He's 25, be 26 in October. So this whole year, pretty much, he's 25.
He'll be around for forever. He turned
Really experienced too. I think he played 3 or 4 years at Texas Tech. Really good golf
yeah,
program.
yeah. I mean, I feel like most of the golf programs that people from Europe or out of the U.S. that go to is either Arizona State, Texas, Texas Tech, or somewhere warm and they're just going to play their sport and they're going to hit the ball well and they're going to win. And clearly, Ludwig's been doing that, and I expect him to continue doing that. But
I agree.
looking into next weekend, we got the Mexico Open. So there's not going to be many big names. The only names that I've really seen is Akshay, Blades Brown, which I'm excited to see. I mean, 17-year-old kid turning pro. You don't hear about that. You don't. That's he's. I think he's younger than when Tiger turned pro. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. We'll see if he's able to stay in contention with all these guys. But yeah, not many big names in it. Akshay will be in it. Jake Knapp, defending champion, he'll be in it. I expect him to be
The
top
Hoyard
10.
brothers.
Hogarth's, Aaron
Yeah.
Rye, who's one of the best iron players on tour.
Yeah.
Approach shots, he'll be in contention. I'm assuming. So it'll be one of those smaller tournaments that
Yeah.
not many people are paying attention to, but
You never know who can win in these types of tournaments. I mean,
yeah.
some guys are going to use it to try and go low and get really fired up for the rest of the season. I mean, we could easily see Akshay go out there and win it. I wouldn't expect anything less than top 5 for him this week,
I
personally.
think he's the favorite, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, I'd like to see him win. I mean, I think it's time for him to go get another win.
Yeah, I agree. And then they jumped to Florida, so we'll see. Some guys are kind of hoping to get in the groove of things here, and then players around the corner, and then Masters shortly after that. So
Yeah.
I think Blades missed his first cut on tour, so I'm excited to see how he rebounds from that.
I think that was at the Amex, right?
I have no idea what it was, but I think he missed it by a couple shots. But yeah, I'm excited for some of these lower name guys to just make a name for themselves. This is the type of tournament to do it. I think Rasmus is going to play really well this week, may even come away with it. Keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, it was at the Amex where Blades missed it. I mean, first tournament of the year, probably the week after he turned pro, so not too worried about that. He'll be, I mean, he's on a sponsor exemption, so it's only gonna be a matter of time until he gets his full card, and he'll be playing with them every weekend. I mean, if he's 17 now, who knows how long he'll be in the sport, and who knows how many wins he's got. If he figures something out and gets hot in 3 years, 4 years, and he'll be 22, 21 years old. So there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to be able to compete with these guys that are still going to be playing like Ludwig. Ludwig's going to be at the top of his game in a couple of years, probably, if not sooner. If he starts getting a couple more wins, he might be competing with Scotty for world number 1. I wouldn't be surprised about that one at all.
Yeah, we'll see. It's early in the season. We all think Luddy's going to have a good year, but we all think Scotty's going to have good years.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll see.
they're probably 2 of the top best players in the world right now. I mean, Rory's up there. We're waiting on Xander to come back from his chest injury. Once Xander comes back, we're gonna see some fireworks when Xander comes back, I think.
Speaking of that, just seen John Rahm dropped out of the top 50.
I saw that, yeah. I mean, he said it before that he regrets switching to live every day, that he's not playing the same caliber of golf he was playing when he moved. He's not playing against the same competition. He's not playing at the same courses, and he's just upset about it. So
I feel like it's hard to play at the same level on the Live Tour that you play on the PGA Tour. First off, because it's only a 3-day event, and then also the difficulty and the level of the golf courses isn't the same. And then you factor in, you're not playing every weekend. There's longer breaks. It's not as serious. I think that's really hurt him. But I really don't see him coming to any major and really giving anybody a shot.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Also, the pressure factor is not nearly the same on Live as it is PGA. The seriousness level in general, I don't think is. Those
Right.
guys
I mean,
are
you
out
see
there
the
having more of a good time.
You see the fans out there, and it's really like, is this even competitive golf?
It's just a party out there for them.
yeah, it just seems like they're just there, and it's mostly for the fans. Like their whole team aspect is for the fans. But Tiger said on Sunday that they're meeting with President Trump again. They're trying to get some deals done because everyone knows President Trump's a big golfer. So I think he wants to see the golf world reunited, so maybe we'll see John Rahm back on some playing some PGA Tour events once they get reunified. So I mean, I could easily see it going down where they're invited to majors whenever they don't have a live event. They're invited to the regular PGA Tour events, just so it's
I think it's best for the game to
yeah. I
players
like
join back
I
together.
like the idea that there's competing leagues, but at some point you got to bring it back together. You got to have the best players playing against the best players week in week out, and not have
Right.
these guys like John Rahm and Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau who aren't playing the same competition, but they might come into a major and they might dominate and win a major, and we're not going to see them more than 3 times for the rest of the year. So I think getting them back reunified, playing all together is going to be good for the sport and great for all the players.
I do think though also that like having another league that competes against the PGA Tour, I think that is good. The fact that, they're completely separate from each other and the fact that they don't mix at all, I don't think that's the best case scenario, but I do like the fact that there's two leagues.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like it. I mean, if you look back at the history of any American sport, there's always been a point where there's been two rival leagues, and they've always come together to create one league. Like when baseball started, there was the National League, and then the American League was created, and now we have the MLB. Same thing for the NFL. So there's no reason the PGA Tour cannot and Live cannot get this done, so we can see all the players playing together, playing against the best competition week in week out.
And personally, just as a viewer, I'd like to see some of those guys be back on the tour just so you can enjoy watching them again. The golf's it's better when Bryson DeChambeau's in the running for all these tournaments. And yeah, you get him in the majors, but even the smaller tournaments, you love to see him, Brooks, John Rahm, those guys. It's just, and there's a bunch more too. It's just even better for a viewer to be able to watch the whole field play. So hopefully they are able to work something out
Yeah, I mean,
in the
definitely
future.
with Bryson DeChambeau's his YouTube channel, playing with all the YouTube guys, his likeness is shot through the roof. Like everyone knows who he is. Everyone likes him a whole lot more than when he was on tour a couple of years ago. So I definitely think getting things back together would be great. But
He
hopefully that
loves
can.
Donnie Trump.
Yeah, he does.
He loves some Donnie Trump.
I guarantee you, he's probably in those talks with Donald Trump and Tiger and Rory. So there's no
Yeah.
doubt in my mind that they don't get something done here shortly, and it's gonna be a lot better for
Also, it
the
was
golf
great to
world.
see Tiger at the Genesis, and obviously we didn't expect him to play because his mother, but he was out engaging with everyone. I saw him congratulate Ludwig, so hopefully
Yeah,
Tiger's able to get back out there soon.
he was out there on the range before JT went off, before Rory and Scotty went off, saying hello to everybody. I mean, it's not like he didn't show up at all. He was still there. He was
Hmm.
still his event, and he's still showing that he cares about the sport. And he's. It seems like based on the way his interview was going during the end of the day on Sunday that he wants the PGA Tour and the Live to come together, and he wants the best players to be playing against the best players.
I agree. That's what it seems like, which I mean I think we all agree with.
I mean, I definitely agree with it, but going back to Carson's partying and for the fans, something that has gotten a little controversy recently is NBA All-Star Weekend. I saw something about how there was 4 games to decide who's going to play in the All-Star game for the NBA, and I was thinking, what are we doing? When has this ever happened? When I was growing up, all I remember is one game, and it was just 3 balls and no defense and just another dunk contest. So I saw this and I was very confused. I don't know much about it, but I know Carson does. Carson?
So I don't necessarily mind the format that they played with the Rising Stars and the All Stars. With that being said, the fans around the league want to see the All Star game get back to being competitive. And I don't think this is the way to do it. Everybody's saying they want it to be more competitive, even the players. And then you have Kevin Hart giving the TNT crew fishing poles at halftime for
What?
30 minutes. Um,
Yes,
I think I think they just need to get back to an East versus West and make them play for something. Like, home court advantage in the finals I think would be great because the teams are going to play for something. And I think that's what they need to get back to is just being competitive because these All-Star games the past couple of years have been a really rough watch. I mean, I couldn't even watch it. The guys were just turning it over, chucking up shots. Donovan Mitchell was Shot 7 threes and wasn't even close. It was just ridiculous, turning the ball over. It was a really tough watch. And then you got Kevin Hart. I mean, I'm all for, the fun and games, All-Star weekend, but it's getting ridiculous and they need to do something about it soon
I,
because the views are already down.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to keep going down if this don't change.
I saw something on, I want to say it was like the skills competition with Chris Paul and Victor Wembanyama.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell are we doing? It's a skills competition, not let
That
me
just
throw the
defeats
ball.
the
Let me
whole
just
purpose. That just defeats the whole purpose of the competition.
yeah.
And I mean, I'm glad they disqualified him,
Great.
but it really shouldn't even got to that point.
I'm sick of seeing stuff like that. I mean, if you look at NHL All Star Weekend, we got USA versus Canada. We got 3 fights in 9 seconds, and then we look at the NBA. We
Right.
got this crap. What are we doing?
So I think the All Star game has turned into an utter joke and an unwatchable product.
Correct.
Guys, okay, I'm all for Curry shooting from deep. You got him shooting half court shots, which is fine. But then, like you said, you got passes just thrown backwards, lobs bouncing it, going out of bounds, bad turnovers, bad shots, no defense, no care in the world. And another thing is the dunk contest I think needs to turn into way more known players being in it.
I can tell you who won, which is Mac
Exactly.
McClung.
So there's the thing.
That-
Like,
I couldn't
why
tell
would
you a
you
single
put-
person in it. Why is
Like-
LeBron James not in it?
well, he didn't play. That's a whole
Yeah,
other
why
thing
LeBron's
too.
not in it, but
But still, LeBron James has not done a single dunk contest in his entire career.
Ja Morant, Zion Williamson,
Anthony
Ant Edwards,
Edwards.
guys like those should be in it. It would make it way more enjoyable. Andre Jackson, who's a bench role player for the Bucks, who was horrible in it, terrible showing, and then dude from the Bulls, I can't even pronounce his name. And Mac McClung is great, and he should be in it because he deserves to, because the way he and Castle does. But you got to get some guys that are in there known for the guys that don't watch the NBA every day, because this is All Star Weekend,
What
you know.
was
And
it?
then you go to the who?
Wasn't Mac McClung on the G League last year, and didn't he compete in it?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's still
What
he
the
still
hell-
still is
what?
in the G League.
What are we
Mac
doing?
McClung. Listen, Mac McClung has made more money from the dunk contest than he has his whole career in hoops.
What are we doing? What are we
But
doing?
I think he should be in it, dude. I mean, if you have a guy that's only 6'2" jumping over a car,
Great.
and
I mean, jumping over a car, doing
Oh,
whatever you
he
want.
should be in it 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
Watch him.
three-peat the
He's
thing.
made for that.
That's not what I'm saying.
But the other
but
three,
I'm
and
saying,
I like Castle, but the other guys, they can kick rocks.
I remember what was
some
it?
big names,
20.
man.
It was 2016 and 2017. It was Zach LaVine versus Aaron Gordon. I remember that, and that's 8 years ago. And I
Dude,
can't even tell you a single person in this
Zach
past
LaVine,
weekend.
he should be in it.
That dunk contest was the best ever, dude. Like,
Yeah.
they
And
need to
going
get
back to
but
what
it's
you
not.
said about the break, that was an utter joke. I don't think anyone had any idea what was going on. Kevin Hart decides to bring out life jackets, hats, and fishing rods, and all four honoring Shaq and Kenny. But that wasn't the time to do it. The game was bad enough.
The championship game just started. The score's like 7-0, and we go to break. We come back. Kevin Hart's at midcourt. He calls
With a
he calls
microphone.
He calls the TNT crew up, and I kid you not, it takes 30 minutes for them to get back playing. I think it went to 3 commercial breaks before they ended up get back playing, dude. I said, I can't watch this anymore, dude. It was a joke.
That's ridiculous.
They need to play for something like you said. The MLB, they used to do it the right way, where
Yeah.
it was home field advantage in the World Series. That would be great.
I think if they went back, I think if the MLB goes back to that, I think if the NBA goes to it, I think that'd be great. Because I mean, even if you look at the MLB, they still have their home run derby, which is great because you're seeing the guys who hit the home runs in the home run derby contest, and they're hitting balls 550 feet, which is what everyone wants to see. And then we go to the All Star Weekend, which is where the fans vote, and it's still the best players in the league, and they're not opting out of it. They're not saying, "Oh, I don't want to compete in it." They're still competing in it, even if they're not playing for anything. They're still going out there and they're still playing. It seems like for this NBA All Star Weekend, the skills contest is a joke. The 3-point contest, couldn't tell you a single person in that one either. That was a joke.
Well, those had some better names, but that just speaks to the seriousness of the whole weekend.
And then same
Yeah,
thing
it
with
was
the normal All Star games. I mean, they had 4 games before they had the final game. or 2 games before the final game.
They had
3
they
games.
had
Yeah.
it was like a 4-team tournament. They had the rising stars in it who were first and second year NBA players, then the 3 all-star teams.
I don't
And LeBron
understand
comes
that.
out and says, "I'm not going to play," in the pregame press conference, which it would have been nice to have a replacement, Norman Powell or one of those guys, to be able to
That's
come
what
on.
I don't like. I mean,
I don't get
Because he
that at
knew he
all.
wasn't going to play.
he knew he was not going to play,
Yeah.
and you're
He
gonna
didn't.
not give up your spot to somebody who deserves it when you're not even going to play. And
I thought
I
that was a
mean,
joke.
I don't.
maybe his decision was on the fact that the weekend is such a joke, and that by him not playing didn't really mean anything. But if somebody told me they didn't watch the All-Star game this weekend, I would hold nothing against them. It was a terrible
No,
You're
watch.
talking to one right now. I didn't watch that damn thing.
Yeah, I don't
If
hold
you
anything against you
say,
because it was terrible.
sit here and say you enjoyed All-Star Weekend, I can't believe you. Because the ratings are down. It's an unwatchable product. The game is horrible. The three-point contest is the only thing worth a damn to watch because there's actually no names like Tyler Hero, Damian Lillard, guys like that. But the All-Star Weekend's become an absolute joke. And the best part is all these players are happy about the turnout. I was reading an article and Curry said we needed to change, referring to last year. He said we needed some new life, new juice in the game. I think maybe we should focus on some other things than All-Star. I think it's always going to be like this, so we should accept it, Jokic said. Like, there's a lot of guys that are saying they like the new format, and the format's not the problem. The problem is there's no care in the world, and it's not a serious basketball game.
That's the main concern. The format could really, I mean, you could piss away the format. As long as guys aren't caring and just lackadaisical and just lollygagging out there, it's not enjoyable for anyone. I mean, they're laughing and playing games. I mean, nobody is having a good time seeing it.
As a viewer, you want to see Steph Curry, LeBron, these guys playing serious together because you never
Right.
get to see them. That's the whole point of the All-Star. You got the best players from all the other teams. KD, like,
You don't
but
want
when
to
they're not
see
caring,
him
it's not watchable.
dicking off and just playing. That you want. I want like if I'm gonna watch the NBA All Star game, I want to see him playing hard, like it matters. Like there's something on the line. Which if they don't have anything on the line, that's another problem.
I think they need to get rid of the target score too. I think that's a joke. I think that just
That gets completely rid of defense.
yeah.
I mean, that's
not
a
basketball.
problem. No.
Mm.
Was a time limit, 4 quarters. It's an
Yeah.
unserious game.
Four
It's an
quarters,
unserious
12
game.
minutes, 24-second shot clock. Go down. Go try and I don't care if you're ISOing the entire time. Go try and score a basket. Go. I mean, if you want to throw lobs, they got to be good and they can't be bouncing off the floor, bouncing off the backboard. If you want to throw lobs, make it serious. Like if you look at the Clippers when they had Chris Paul and Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan, they were throwing lobs
DeAndre Jordan, yeah.
every Lob City. They're throwing lobs every game, and nobody complained about that. So if you want to have showmanship, you got to at least compete.
I agree. And
I agree
the
100%.
thing is, if these guys want this week to be their break and they just want to jerk off and do whatever they want, like, then shorten the damn season. You know what I mean?
Right.
Shorten the season 10, 15 games so they're not having to play all these back-to-backs. Eliminate back-to-backs so they can take something like this serious. Because this could be an ultimate watch for the NBA fans and the non-NBA fans to see these guys come together and play together.
Or if they're not going to take it seriously, get rid of it completely. Talk to each player as a group and figure out how they would make it better so that they would think fans are going to watch it, non-fans are going to watch it, and how to get life back to the sport.
I also think a big thing about like the players not trying and not giving a shit is just like how big some of these guys' egos are. It's honestly ridiculous. I think that plays a huge factor in it. Yeah, I really don't want to name names, but that's
Yeah.
all I'll say about that.
And then you go over to the NHL, and we got, like I mentioned earlier, 9 seconds into the USA-Canada game, we got 3 fights. Talk about caring about the game and talk about playing the game hard. 9 seconds to get 3 fights. Now, partially was because the Canadians decided to boo the United States national anthem, which, that's a joke. That's an absolute joke.
That's all right. They're going to get theirs booed Thursday night in the championship.
Well, we just lost, so that's not going to happen.
No, we're in the championship.
We just lost to Sweden.
I know it doesn't matter though. We
Yeah,
already locked in the championship.
but I mean,
As an average hockey fan, from myself,
yeah,
I don't mind a little bit of chirpiness. If you want to boo the national anthem from a different country,
go
go
for it.
for it. But
But
hey,
expect to see some retaliation. I think
as an
all.
average hockey fan, I want to see people throwing them gloves off and just knocking each other. That's what I like to see.
I mean, I think
What they're
we're.
doing.
I think all three of us
Go
are
ahead.
average hockey fans. None of us are sitting down every night watching these hockey games. But we're gonna sit down and we're gonna watch the United States go after Canada. We're gonna watch them go after Sweden or Finland. It doesn't matter. We're gonna watch the United States play hockey because we know that if something happens and someone's getting a little chirpy, and all for that, all for chirping, but
Yeah,
expect retaliation.
and this is a great entertainment tournament for the whole four nations. You got USA, Canada, Finland, Sweden. What the NHL's done, turn the All Star game into that, is great. The numbers are up. The
Oh
entertainment's
yeah,
at an all time high, and I know it's a little different with hockey with the whole countries and the international side of things because there's so many different countries that these top players and hockey's not really an American sport anyways. There's a lot of Russians, a lot of Canadians. So, but you see, I mean, we ain't the biggest hockey fans in the world. 10 seconds in the game, three fights, USA versus Canada. There's bad blood. There's a high level of talent. There's a high level of effort. And that's what the NBA should follow after. Something like this where you got to create some kind of, competitiveness between the All-Stars. And I think the NHL is doing a great job. And if they want to boo our national anthem, that's fine. We'll boo theirs Thursday night and beat their ass.
That's right. You got problems, get sniffer, go after it.
Sniffer to sniffer, eye to eye, face to face, and hopefully the gloves will be down early and it'll be rocking. And it's in Boston now, so it jumped from
Damn, I'd love to
that
see them gloves fly off, baby.
that
Here we
dump
go.
Montreal. Yeah,
I'm looking at something
and
right
another
now.
example is we're sitting on the bus on the way back from our game and we're watching the hockey game. We put it on our phones, and damn near whole team gets out their phone, starts putting it on. Like that's an example of an all-star weekend you want to watch. When you see fights, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, and that's coming from someone who plays collegiate basketball. As someone who plays collegiate basketball and their whole team's pulling out a hockey game over NBA All Star Weekend,
Exactly.
I think that's a problem.
That
At
speaks
least,
volumes.
yeah, at least as an average hockey viewer and an average NBA viewer, if a basketball team is pulling up a hockey all-star game, it's not even an all-star game, it's an exhibition game. USA versus Canada, and they're pulling that out instead of the all-star game for the NBA, that I see that as a problem. I'm looking at the viewers from the USA versus Canada game. 5.2 million viewers. I don't think the NBA can compete with that. I
No, you wait
really
till
think
Thursday. It'll be even more. The championship will be even more, I'd assume.
I really think that the NHL stole All Star Weekend from the NBA this week.
I love it.
There's
I
no
love
doubt
it.
in my mind
They
that
need to learn somehow.
I think the countries add a competitiveness to it all. But
Mhm.
there is a different pride in hockey for your country for
Correct.
sure. It's always
Correct.
been like that. So I don't know the answer on if the NBA should follow something like that, but it was great to watch USA and Canada duke it out all night.
yeah, I think everyone who knew about that game was watching it over the NBA All Star Weekend.
And it's on every social media, the highlights, the hits.
Yeah,
You've seen all the fights. That was everywhere.
I mean,
I mean, how many clips are you seeing from the All-Star game?
No.
Maybe the Steph Curry half-court shot. That's it.
I-
Maybe.
Only
Didn't-
the ones that
or the-
NBA social medias are posting.
Didn't
or the
even know
fishing
Steph
rods?
Curry
I
had
mean-
one. I didn't even know about that, but I know about the
Yeah,
the
he
Chuck
had a half-court
brothers
shot.
both fighting the
Yeah.
first 9 seconds, and they're going
I mean,
to the
the-
box and they're saying, "How'd mine
And
look?"
they're- Yeah,
For patriotic.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
let's go.
yeah. I mean, that was great.
That's just something that I think the NBA could definitely learn from, figure out, or at least figure out a way to get their viewership back up. Hockey's not the most watched sport here in the United States, but having 5.2 million viewers watching that is clearly a sign that the NHL is doing it a whole lot better than the NBA at this point.
Completely agree on all levels. The NHL's All-Star Weekend tops the NBA All-Star Weekend. It wasn't even close.
And you got to think about it. It is a little bit sad because basketball was made here in the United States. It's an American sport, and you would think that the viewers would be there because it's basically American sport at that point, just like baseball. And we're watching hockey over basketball. I just don't know how I feel about that.
I agree. Damn, Malik Brown dislocated shoulder, by the way. That sucks.
That sucks, but probably one of the best case scenarios for him because that did not look good at all.
I was hoping it wasn't a torn bicep.
In what game tonight?
The Duke game.
The Duke game.
He just deflected a ball and grabbed at his inner. It was like bicep. He wasn't grabbing at his shoulder, but he came back out in a sling, sat on the bench, and Shire said in the press conference he got a dislocated shoulder. So
I don't know how long that recovery time is, but I don't think it should be too long. I mean,
I don't think so either.
basketball's a
Long as
different
he's back.
sport to play with a dislocated anything, especially a shoulder, but I really couldn't say. Maybe a month.
Going back to viewership, I definitely think with college baseball coming back that there was a lot of viewers there. I mean, we got to think about Tennessee being the powerhouse they are, Georgia being the powerhouse they are. We got to think about Virginia being the powerhouse they are. We got to see the things as they are, and we got Clemson playing Arizona. We got a 16-5. I mean, that's almost like a football. I know there was a couple. I think it was either D2 or D3 that was like 36-22. Football scores. If we're scoring runs like that, that's out of the world. I definitely like NC State 19-6 against Fordham. Baseball is back, and there's no doubt in my mind that it's going to be a great year with baseball. It's going to be fun to watch the top 25 duke it out, and then come Omaha and Supers and regular regionals, it's going to be a fun time when that comes around.
I think it's really cool how some of these teams are playing in MLB ballparks. If I'm not mistaken, I think Clemson's playing in Arlington or something.
I believe that's right.
Yeah, they were at Globe
At the
Life.
range.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
at Globe
I
Life.
think that's really cool. Just the fact that these guys are getting the chance to get inside these big league ballparks because the end goal is to make it to the MLB. So I think that's really good.
Yeah.
Just also, everybody's series is starting to ramp up, and it's going to be exciting once we get down the road, get into conference play, and ultimately, conference championships, and then
Yeah.
the road to Omaha. So
Both Texas played Ole Miss in Globe Life, and Clemson played Arizona in Globe Life. So I mean that's cool to see these schools playing in stadiums. I know that the Big 12 that they play the conference championship down at Globe Life. So I mean I think it's cool, like you mentioned, that it is their goal to play in the MLB and that they're getting a little bit of taste of that a little bit earlier in their careers, and I think that's great. I think it's a great concept that is in college baseball.
Good to see a lot of these North Carolina teams as well. You got, well, even Virginia's close. You got North Carolina. They swept. Duke struggled, but no doubt in my mind they'll bounce back. NC State swept their series. Wake Forest swept at 4-0.
Wake
So
Forest
I know
is going to sweep every
Yeah.
week. I mean,
They're
they're a
really
powerhouse. We've heard about them for years. They're always a good team. They're always either in Omaha or close to going to Omaha. Their whole development program over there is unbeatable in my eyes.
the pitching staff is
Facilities.
always legit. Always legit.
great facilities.
Great facilities over there. Their sports
nice.
complex is very, very good too. Very multi-dimensional, where everything's right there. So there's no real travel going on. If you're a student, it's right on campus. If you're a
I had
fan,
a chance to play at Wake multiple times throughout the years, and touring their facility, it's like a different world. I mean, they have a pitching lab that with some equipment that I've never even seen, heard of, or thought of in my life, and I think that goes a long way with the development of their squad.
yeah, I definitely think that I think everyone's heard that Wake, their pitching lab, is better than some
One of
MLB
the
teams,
best.
if not better than most. And their development coming out of there is with Chase Burns, Rhett Lauder. I mean, it's very obvious that their pitching lab is legit, They know what they're doing. So I would not be
Cardinal.
surprised.
See how he ends up.
Yeah, that's a guy we played against. It's definitely is a great pitching lab down there. I know Coastal Carolina had a good weekend down there in
Yeah, sure thing.
Conway.
Yeah.
Seen some good pitching coming out of Coastal recently, at least this
Yeah, the
weekend.
boys are fired up. The boys are fired up. The bats are rolling. The arms are throwing, and we're excited to get in the swing of things. Hopefully, crack inside that top 25 here shortly, and just continuing to win games.
Oh yeah, I mean they could easily be cracking that top 25 here soon. I don't
How's
know.
West Virginia play
Uh,
this?
went 3-0. Fourth game on Sunday got canceled because it was storming down in Jacksonville. The boys were playing well. We won 3-2 on Sunday. We won 10-3 on Saturday. 10-3 on Saturday and 3-2 on Saturday, and we played a little bit better on Friday and got a little bit of a bigger win. So it was good to see the boys rolling. Skylar King hit a shot in the second game on Saturday, so it's good to see the boys. The boys are playing well. We're going down to Lipscomb this weekend, so I'm
Okay.
excited for that. Excited to see the boys rolling. We got some electric arms coming out of the bullpen too. Definitely nice to see that. Definitely gonna be fun to see when we get a little bit closer to conference play, when we get Cincinnati, when we play Pitt, when we have our 1-1 with Pitt. That's gonna be fun to watch too. I'm excited for it, but hopefully we crack
Electric.
into that top 25 as well. But we'll see. It's another
Hopefully
year.
the Blue Devils bounce back after their series. But a lot of good weekend series coming up. Looks like, I believe Carolina has got ECU. I don't know if that's a midweek or a series.
I would assume that's a midweek.
I think it's a midweek. Yeah. No, it's a series actually. They
It
got
is.
a looks like a 3 game series starting Friday. ECU. That'll be interesting to see how that
Yeah,
shakes up.
that'd be good to
I know
see.
Auburn looked pretty good
Auburn looked
against,
good.
was
I
it
think they went.
Holy Cross, right?
Yeah, I think they went 3-1 in that
Holy Cross.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah, Holy Cross.
Shout out to our guy with the first RBI as a
Yeah,
Tiger.
I was gonna say Bristol Carter got a
Nice gap shot.
gap shot double, getting his first RBI of the year. Excited to see how his move from ECU to Auburn goes. Hopefully, we can get him on next week. Might have to move our scheduling time around, but hopefully, we can get him on, get a little convo with him going, see how he's doing, see how he's settling down in Auburn, Alabama. So, but definitely excited to see how the rest of his season ends up. Hopefully, we can get one of our buddies from Duke on. Hopefully, I can get some of the WU boys on. So, definitely looking up to
Baseball
see.
baseball season is back.
Baseball is here.
I got a question for you, Frames. How do we feel about Rodon just having a day on the mound down there? Two jacks coming up and absolute no doubters. Cody Bellinger,
Cody
Jason.
Bellinger and Jason Dominguez. So you got to think about it. Jason Dominguez is a stud. He's a younger guy. He's going to be swinging the bat. He's going to be trying to earn his starting position in left field. He hasn't. Aaron Boone has said that he hasn't earned it yet. Cody Bellinger, he played great. He's in New York for a reason. He's going to hit a lot of bombs out of Yankee Stadium here in a couple months. But I'm not too worried about it. He's been thrown for probably a week or so, and he's just ramping up. I'm not worried about it at all. But I mean, it's ABs, live ABs, so they're clearly seeing the ball well. Maybe he's got to work on something, but not too worried about it at all.
Maybe he's throwing 80%. Never
I
know.
mean, yeah, I mean, it could be 80, 85%, 90%, who knows? I'm not too worried about it. What I am worried about is Giancarlo Stanton's elbows. You can't swing a bat. Could be weeks,
That
could be
is not
months.
good news.
No.
If both elbows are in serious pain and you haven't swung in 4 weeks.
No, he hasn't swung in longer than that, but he might not be able to swing for at
Is
least
it?
another 3-4 weeks. So he might not be swinging. So we might have to go look for a DH. Might have to look to a younger guy to DH. We got to figure something out there. What I'm not happy about is Bregman going to the Red Sox and having to deal with that whole lineup as well as the Blue Jays. Not too worried about the Rays, but the Red Sox and the Blue Jays and the Yankees are going to be battling it out in the AL East, and that is a promise.
Can't wait for the baseball season to get down October. I think it's going to be just an absolute dogfight in that division. I think it's going to be between Red Sox, Yankees. I think the Blue Jays and Orioles will be good, but I don't know if they'll win as many games as they do. I don't think they're as good top to bottom. But yeah, Bregman's signing is very exciting. It'll be interesting to see where he plays. Devers came out today and completely denied the fact that he wanted to play anywhere. So that'll be interesting to see how that all shakes up. Yoshida's sitting at DH, so you'll have to make a decision on him as well. But
Someone
at
who's
the end
not
of the
afraid to
day,
make a move is Mike Trout. Mike Trout moved to right field.
yes,
Excited to see
Mike
him
Trout,
playing
right.
again. Ready to see Ronald Acuña Jr. playing for Carson Shelton's Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, sure. Right.
I mean, he came out, he said he's not 100%, but he's 90, 95. So he's going to be playing well, and he's going to be hitting the ball, he's going to be stealing bases, not worried about him at all. I would love to see Mike Trout get back to playing, get back to getting closer to his 100-plus games a year, get back into All-Star Weekend, hit a bomb in All-Star Weekend and All-Star Game. So I'd like to see him get back, but
Yeah, I seen a tweet showing Acuna's BP and where his balls ended up, and that bat looks just fine. So
It
just
sure
we need
does.
to
yeah.
we need to get him back to 100% quickly. No need to rush it because he'll be back and it'll be early in the season. Yeah, he's just a spark plug. I mean, even when he's just in that dugout, it's a spark plug. So yeah, excited to get him back in there. Yeah, man, I'm excited for this MLB season.
I saw something the other day. He was taking BP after Austin Riley in the cage. He went in there, little quick loosen up of the shoulders, took one swing, popped right out of the cage. He said, "I'm good."
Yeah,
And that's it. Probably went out to live ABs and probably took a couple of guys a yard. I mean, wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened down there. So definitely
Really
excited to
hoping
see
for a healthy
this.
season out of Acuna. He's one of the best players in the league when healthy.
And that's the problem. We talked about this last week. I mean, these guys that have been hurt, it's hard to sometimes you forget about them to put them in the top 5, top 10 because I mean,
right.
Acuna's been out for basically over a year. Mike Trout played like 20 games last year. Otani was only able to hit, but I mean, it's went 50 and 50, which is unheard of, but
Yeah.
it just
Alien.
yeah, it's just things that we sometimes forget about because guys are injured, but definitely
It really
excited about
sucks
it.
to see injuries like hinder a player with so much potential.
I mean, Mike Trout's probably getting close to the end of his career. He's got like 11 All Stars. I'm not worried about him. He'll be in the Hall of Fame, no doubt. But we got to see like Ronald Acuña Jr.'s younger guy. Giancarlo Stanton's getting up in age, so he's probably getting close to done. But his elbows are going
I
to be a
wish
problem.
I wish Trout, not that he wasted his career in Anaheim, but he never won anything. And he was arguably the best player in baseball the last 10 years until Shohei came around.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the MVPs or not, you can't even see MVPs. You got to like look at stats and go year to year. Mike Trout's the best player in the league for like 12 of the last 18 years, and that's saying something to be that good and having as many injuries as he's had. So hopefully he gets healthy and gets a
They
good
made some
season.
moves. They signed Jansen as their closer. They signed what pitcher did they sign? They signed some pitcher recently. They made some like weird 1 year moves. They lost Sandoval, the lefty,
Well,
and they got
they
Ron Washington as the manager now. But there's a couple. Wasn't it a Yankee? Torres? No, he's Tigers.
yeah, Tigers.
Who the hell did they sign?
I know they still have Ben Joyce, who's an electric arm out of Tennessee. Tennessee is another program, like we mentioned,
Yeah,
that's
Johan
got
Moncada, Jansen.
placed Anthony Rendon on the IL.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he's getting
But
up there too.
anyways, they signed a couple people that
Yeah, they made some moves. There's
made it
definitely some hope.
made it
So,
interesting. So we'll see. But I don't see them winning nothing, honestly.
look, baseball, college looked good. Ready to keep it going. Ready to get closer. Conference games, regionals, supers, then to Omaha. Hopefully, it can go play Carson down in Omaha. A little WVU versus Coastal Carolina action.
That'd be great.
That'd
The
be
chirps would be unreal.
oh, trips would be unreal. There'd be probably won't be able to speak to each other for a couple days after that, but
No.
yeah.
It won't hinder the friendship. It'll take a toll
We'll have some
for a
friendly
couple
banter
days.
on the
Yeah, there'll be
cast.
there'll be some banter in the cast. I mean, if that ever happens, there's gonna be banter. There's gonna be shots
Hell, maybe we'll
thrown.
do a maybe we'll do a
If you're
live
going through
segment.
life without any banter,
Yeah, I mean,
if you live in life, really?
if that happens, we got to go live. We got to find somewhere to go live from, and we gotta watch it.
Live
Get
from Omaha.
live from Omaha. A quick trip out there. Hop on a plane.
Live from right field here with the Chanticleers.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be live from inside the dugout with the West Virginia Mountaineers.
Okay, yeah, we're chirping that. We're chirping that ass all day, baby.
Okay.
Here we go.
But that'd be a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
College is here.
College is here. I'm gonna be here.
First game is Thursday. Cubs and Dodgers, I want to say, is Thursday, right?
Excited for it. Ready to get it going. Great opening weekend for the Chanticleers and the Mountaineers. So hopefully we can keep it going. Hopefully we can see each other in Omaha. But other than that, signing off. See you next week.
Peace.
See ya.
Yeah, ran a little long. Had a couple segments where we dived it off a little bit. I gotta be better at that. Gotta be on top of it. And other than that, we're good.